We're here at Citizens Bank Park. It's Joe DeCamara of WPEN here in Philadelphia, and Steve Carlton as well, right with us as well. We're talking about Philly sports and their sports fans. Joe, there's this perception nationally that Philly sports fans are just a bitter group. They wait for their team to lose so they can complain incessantly about it. Tell us the true perception or the truth about Philly fans, since you're so immersed in the sports scene here.
Well, I am, Chris. I really. By the way, let me just take this time to say, Steve Carlton talking right now about right here about as much as he did during his career. This is what we got from Lefty in the 70s and 80s. But Philadelphia, the fans are phenomenal. It's an unbelievable, passionate group of sports fans, and we know there have been issues. Chris, everybody knows that. Everyone around the nation knows that Philadelphia fans at times can get out of hand, and but those issues, honestly, they're overrated. Mm-hmm. They are really overrated. The big thing that I think people nationally miss about Philadelphia sports fans is how ingrained the passion is, how deep the passion is. That's the thing people don't understand. Philly's a one World Series. One in 126 years. Yeah. So from a fan standpoint, sure, you're going to have some bitterness, you're going to be jaded, but what continues to drive the Philadelphia sports fan, what's going to make this a great venue over the next few days here in the National League Championship Series, is the passion of how much they want the Phillies to win.
Well, it's a sexy story to talk about snowballing, Santa Claus, and those kind of things. That's what the national media focuses on, but we don't really hear much from the local media like
Sure.
this.
Well, think about this. And the Santa thing in particular, honestly, it bothers me. An incident in the 1960s, and here we are, close to 50 years later, 40 to 50 years later, and it comes up again. No big deal, Chris, and it happens all the time. But at what point can one moment in one stadium, one time, kind of just let's move on beyond it? That's the thing. And yes, there have been other incidents. There's no doubt about it. Michael Irvin, when he went down, Michael Irvin goes down and he gets cheered as he, maybe had a broken neck.
We're here in this tremendous sports complex. We've got Lincoln Financial, we've got the Wachovia, we got Citizens Bank Park. The former site, also a Veterans Stadium, which was known as quite a dump.
Sure.
Did that play at all into the psyche of Philly fans?
The Vet was not a pretty venue. All right, let's put it that way. So there haven't been a ton of great moments. The Vet did kind of typify, Philadelphia and the results in a certain way. But the Vet also was our home.
Yeah,
that was our home. Phillies and Eagles. And again, I associate it a little bit more with the Eagles for how it translated, because for the Phillies, and that's what's so beautiful about Citizens Bank Park. Baseball, you want to enjoy your venue.
Yeah.
Football, it's not as big deal. But baseball, you want to be able to come out, get the hot dogs, relax, have some fun, grab a beer. So in that sense, this has been an unbelievable upgrade, particularly for the Phils.
I know the Philadelphia Soul, they won a championship recently, but I know it's not a Soul town. It's not really a Flyer town because of the popularity of hockey, I'm guessing. So is it an Eagles town or is it a Phillies town? Where does the love fall if fans had to pick one or the other?
Well, certainly most are for sport fans, and you throw the Sixers in there. But if you had to go to one, there's no question. There is no question it is an Eagles town. It has been for, at least 15 to 20 years now. Buddy Ryan really amped things up. The Phillies are flipping it right now. A little bit. I can't quantify how much it is, but they are flipping this town a little. This town's ready for a championship, and the team that brings the championship, there's going to be a whole lot of glory, Chris, thrown upon that franchise.
All right, so if it is an Eagles town, what's more coveted, a World Series title or a Super Bowl title?
Well, I think a Super Bowl is. I don't think there's any question that a Super Bowl is, but, you take what you can get, right. And there's no doubt the World Series would be second. I think the World Series would be second, probably basketball championship third, and the Stanley Cup fourth. But football in America, we know what that generally represents, and mostly it's here in Philly as well. Again, but the Phillies are flipping it a little bit. And I don't think it'll ever turn completely upside down, at least no time in the next 10, 15 years. I think that's unlikely. But they're getting closer.